pizza.
Sorry.
Just got like a whiff of something. I was like, what is that?
Sorry.
It's pizza.
It was something that was very quick and I could just pop it in
Yeah,
the
I get that. I
microwave and
totally
be.
get that. But I didn't smell it at first. And I was like, wait, where'd the garlic smell come from?
There are some new ones.
We can probably print it out for you.
No, not yet.
I did copy paste.
Well, I looked at
almost
one,
every-
I think
there's
they're
just
all
a couple.
basically saying, have our thing this year. I can forward you a couple.
No, it doesn't have any.
Oh,
A level yellow.
Yeah, the only other one is.
Good to the eye and the pen. Very nice.
Canvas.
Good for notes. And then I really made a bridge into
We'll get the meeting started in about a minute here.
for like retention of documents instead of having like a stack of yellow notepads.
Well, it's all on.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's
I
all.
like them a lot, but a bit easier. They should be able to get you a screen focused. I can jot down some notes instead of
You want me to like move
typing
my?
thoughts
No,
while
no, no, no. I
just trying to listen.
This will work. Here, slowly.
Same except for the extension.
Okay. It's the same stuff, remember.
Same stuff, just pared down a little bit. No consent calendar, so it's all.
Okay, I'm going to call to order this special meeting of Monday, March 23rd, 2026. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We begin, as always, by acknowledging the land on which we gather as the territory of the Ottawa and Chippewa peoples who have stewarded this land through the generations. Thank you for your strength and resilience in protecting this land and inspiring us to uphold our responsibilities to do the same. And with that, we will start. This is usually a study session week if we have a meeting at all, but because of last week's storm, we are going to take care of some time-sensitive business and some items that were on the consent calendar. So there's other items that you might have noticed are missing. Those will be saved for a regular meeting, but we do have some timely things that need to be taken care of. And with that, I also wanted to acknowledge that obviously we all went through what we went through last week, so we really wanted to take a moment to thank our police and fire, and especially our streets and DPS for the amazing work they did last week and how Herculean the task was that they stayed up on top of the best they could. So we thank them all too right now. So with that, I'm going to hand it over for a roll call, please, Sarah.
Commissioner Bomer?
Here?
Commissioner Anderson?
Present.
Commissioner Shaw? Here. Commissioner Funk?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ness?
Here.
Commissioner Treadwell?
Here.
Mayor?
Here. And we'll move on to announcements from the city manager, including a very special one.
Yes, I'm going to save the really special one up to the very end of
That's
my
fine.
announcements. I just want to echo, of course, what the mayor said. I want to thank the employee team for your exceptional work during the winter storm last week. We had folks from the streets, parks, garage, water, and sewer who all stepped in to help, as well as our fire and police departments. Last Sunday, Hickory Hills capped off the season with the annual Slush Cup event, and I want to thank our supporters and all those that recreated at Hickory during the Alpine season. The city is seeking several nominations at this time. First, for the Coast Guard Committee, they're seeking nominations for their annual Guardian Award, which nominates a Coast Guard member who's gone above and beyond. And second, the Human Rights Commission is seeking nominations for the Humanitarian Award from a business and/or organization, as well as their annual Sarah Hardy Humanitarian Award for individual humanitarian efforts. All nomination forms can be found on the city's website under the appointed board section. We will not be having a city commission meeting next week, Monday, March 30th. So the next city commission meeting will be on Monday, April 6th, and I just want to remind folks that city offices will be closed on Friday, April 3rd. And for my surprise announcement, I'm going to ask our street superintendent, Chris Weber, to join me at the podium. Just told him a few minutes ago this was happening in the future. We're going to do presentations like this at the annual Strategy in Motion event, but Every year, the city recognizes an outstanding employee of the year, and the employee of the year nominations are made by our department head leadership team and then voted on by that team. And Chris Weber, who is our street superintendent, no surprise to me, was nominated and chosen by your peers. Words that were used to describe Chris and his efforts are that you are innovative, you have an incredible work ethic, you have elevated the culture of your department to be one that inspires creativity and unique problem solving. Chris, I want to thank you for your work. And then also, very importantly and wonderful to share is that his department was also selected as the Department of the Year. So a whole lot of praise for you, Chris. I want to thank you for your efforts. And we've got a little plaque for you. And if you have a little speech, I know you're not shy. Sure. Thank you for everything.
Just want to thank everyone, the department head team, commission, all the citizens as well. We wouldn't be doing this right now if it weren't for the staff. Thankfully, we have a staff that's dedicated and hardworking and really believes in what we're doing. So without that, we wouldn't have been able to do some of the things that we got done this year, like the 14th Street, and then being able to work through this storm like we just did the last week. So I really owe it to the staff. And it's not just streets. We work really closely with the garage. They keep us running with all our equipment. Parks helps us out. So I just want to really thank everyone for this. Was not expecting this whatsoever, but thank you, and I really do appreciate it, and we hopefully will continue to be innovative and, setting that bar high and keeping everybody satisfied and everybody safe. So thank you.
And any notes from the city clerk? I know Ben took care of a bunch there, but
Yeah, it's really hard to
yeah.
follow these two acts, but I just have a couple. Meetings scheduled for this week are the Hickory Hills Advisory Committee will meet Thursday, March 26th at 9 a.m. at the Hickory Hills Lodge, and the Historic Districts Commission will meet Thursday, March 26th at noon here in the chambers.
Great. Well, keeping with our street celebration tonight, our first topic for consideration is the much anticipated and really exciting painting and striping. A lot of these have been brought before us before, like I said, but we don't have consent calendars during a special meeting, so we will kick it off with the striping conversation. And it's under you, Sarah, because it was consent, so
No, I'm
however you wanna
actually going
introduce
to
it.
take this one. You guys had previously approved this motion, but we forgot just a small bit in the motion when we were drafting it. We forgot to include the contingency amounts. So that's what, this is just a housekeeping issue to make sure that the contingency amount is attributed in the motion. And so I'm going to, and then there was one additional thing that is not included in your packet, and is we're adding in language just to approve budget amendment for the fund balance to cover the authorized amount if needed. So I'm going to read the
Please.
motion,
Thank you.
and then somebody can go from there.
Claim it.
That the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute an agreement with PK Contracting in the amount not to exceed $328,820.30, which includes a 10% contingency. So that is $298,927.55 plus a 10% contingency of $29,892.75 for the painting and striping of various parking areas, crosswalks, and legends, with such contract subject as to its substance by the city manager and is formed by the city attorney, with funds outlined in the street superintendent's memo dated on February 19th, 2026, and approve a budget amendment for the fund balance to cover authorized expenditures, and further that the motion approved on March 2nd, 2026 be superseded.
Who wants to take
So
credit
moved.
for that one? Lance.
Second.
Thank you, Lance and Jackie. Any discussion on this item?
I had a little bit of question. When we get to item number, let me see here real quick. When we get to item number 4, we're going to talk about some of the pavement preservation projects. And one of the things that I was wondering about this Progressive AE, the PK, PK, I want to say their name right, PK Consulting? Contracting. With PK Contracting, are they going to paint the markings on Oak Street before we do the reconstruction projects that we are going to approve I'm just kind of curious.
Our employee of the year is coming.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Weber, Street Superintendent. This is a discussion we've been having. Because this contract's due to be completed prior to June 30th, as per the contract, we are kind of leaning towards painting these markings because the Cape Seal project probably wouldn't happen until late summer. So to go all summer without these pavement markings, just to wait for this project that could potentially get delayed for weather or whatever, I think we're leaning towards just painting the markings, especially in a lot of the local streets. There's really not that many. It'd be stop bars and crosswalks. It's not like it is downtown, so the amount of overlap would be pretty minimal.
So there's a lot more downtown markings that have to go on the roads that'll be part of this project?
Yes.
Okay, that kind of blends into my second question. Do we know how we're going to mark State Street in regard to one-way or two-way traffic? Because when we brought this up, we wanted to push it aside for a little while to get more information on the cost of the reconstruction. So I guess I'm looking at the other commissioners and wondering, how are we going to paint State Street? Because it's going to be done by June 30th. That was the intention, without punitive
Right.
repercussions. But we weren't going to bring the State Street decision back until June potentially. So I guess my question is, how are we going to mark State Street if
Well,
we?
It's really sort of a situation of nothing changes till it changes. And so
Right.
for now, State Street is two-way, and that's how it will be striped. City Commission, when you do make a decision, whether or not it stays two-way or reverts back to one-way, no changes would be made until next year anyway, really, in terms of practicality.
Well, I guess, and then that kind of brings me to my next question. In the February 26th tidbits email, that was from the city manager to the commission and the employee leadership team. There were 3 projects that engineering required a decision regarding the traffic direction on State Street. The Cass Street mid-block crossing, a water main replacement along the Boardman into State Street, up to Park Street. See, how did I say that? That was going to be $1 million that was going to be funded through brownfield funds that we need to spend, and potentially the RFP development for the city-owned State Street properties for that RFP. So there are 3 really big projects that are kind of hinging on the decision of the traffic direction as well right now too. So are we being responsible and diligent by putting off this decision on the State Street traffic until June, when we could have it painted correctly now, and when we can have the answers for the questions that engineering has proposed? Is there?
Well, from the answer that Ben just gave for the last one, though, is like, even if we do decide to go back to one-way, it's really probably not going to happen this year anyways. So that wouldn't preclude us from doing the projects we plan to do and everything else this year, because we wouldn't be changing it anyways, so.
Well, is it inappropriate to make a decision now?
I think so. It's
Yeah.
not on the agenda.
We've already
If we
referred it
put it
to.
on the next agenda, is it appropriate then?
But our-
There's a process for reconsidering an item that the commission's already taken action on within 6 months. And if it's a desire, you could send an email to the city clerk, and then she will forward that out to the remaining members of the commission. If you have one other member who voted on the prevailing side join you, then that would be back on the agenda. Otherwise, it doesn't come back for at least 6 months.
We didn't take it off we didn't vote on it, though. We requested more information from staff, and I'm kind
Oh.
of curious if the staff had been able to collect that information, because the commissioner, excuse me, real quick while I look it up. Commissioner Shaw proposed the request for more information on the cost of one-way versus two-way, and it was seconded by Commissioner Bomer. So I just wondered if they had done any work or had gotten any numbers together on that yet.
No, not at this point. Nothing that I have discussed with the employee team, so I'm not prepared to answer those questions very well.
And part of that was also referring it to the Complete Streets Committee as well, for their input
Right.
and feedback.
That's
So that was part of the discussion, and I believe in part of the motion. So it'd have to supersede that, and we would not then hand it off to the Complete Streets ad hoc before they'd have a chance to look at it either.
When we talked about all the pavement restoration projects back on January 26th, I think was hold on just real quick. Thank you for being patient. On the January 26, 2026 study session, in that meeting, it was discussed that the commission was accepting of the idea that the 2026 pavement preservation projects would be painted in their current configuration and that the future configurations and improvements would be evaluated and prioritized once the Complete Streets Committee is formally established. So we were okay with all the resurfacing projects and the Cape Seal projects on waiting to put that information, to put the markings for those projects in front of the Complete Streets. But it seemed like we were more interested in having a lot more feedback from Complete Streets for downtown. But I'm just concerned if engineering needs it, because that was in that email more than anything. That's kind of my wonder is, do we need a decision sooner than later?
The information that was, I appreciate you asking the question. The information that was shared in my email was really just for context in terms of, there's an effect when we do delay making decisions, but I think that that's completely the prerogative of the city commission, and it's up to this body on how you would like to proceed.
I don't think any of the questions that I've asked changed my feelings about voting for this project tonight. I'm completely fine with that. This was part of the discussion that I think that and wanted to have in regard to how we're going to mark these roads. So, Chris, you've answered my question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and just like Benjamin said, our plan is we put back what's there unless changes are recommended or proposed, so.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other questions or comments, because we have a motion? Okay, seeing none. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next is our annual SALT conversation. Oh, sorry, my screen just popped up, so I will hand that over to you, Ben.
Yes, thank you. So this is the annual placement of the early delivery and backup salt order. This would be we're already talking about next season, because that's kind of how these things have to be paced out. And so for new commissioners particularly, and for everyone, just for clarity, the process is such that we have to place the order for salt essentially now in order to be guaranteed to receive it. And this commits the city to making the purchase. So I just want to make that clear that if you approve this motion, we'll be returning to you with a purchase order for approval. But if you approve this motion tonight, you essentially almost have to approve the purchase order later. So I just want to be really clear that there's that marriage of those two things. So I'm happy to elaborate further if you've got questions. And of course, we have Mr. Weber here.
Questions? Go ahead, Mitch.
Do we have a final number? The memo says that there were 1,400 tons at March 5th, and yes, for the first part of March, we didn't need hardly any, but in last week, I suppose we've used a decent amount. So do we have an updated figure?
That figure allowed for a little bit of leeway because we kind of knew that we would use some material. I don't have the numbers of what we used through the storm. I wouldn't imagine that it would be anything that would get us too far off of our goal of being close to that 2,500 tons secured for the upcoming winter. So I think the 1,200 number is still a good number.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Heather.
This is a question about beat heat. Isn't that what it's called? Beat heat.
Yes.
So we were told the last few years that you could put the beat heat down ahead of a storm, and we definitely knew this storm was coming, and it came. Did you put any down? Was it effective at all, or was there just too much snow, or can you talk about that?
There's
Did it save any salt use?
So there's really two types of processes when it comes to a liquid application. There's pre-treating, which is applied directly to the roadway ahead of a storm, and then we pre-wet our salt as it's coming out of the back of the truck. We typically have never pre-treated roadways, and I don't know how effective it would have been just because of, number one, the duration of the storm, and then how much snow we received. Once that amount of snow hit the road, it may have worked for the first little bit with some of the slippery conditions, but it would eventually have been diluted and plowed off the roadway. So it's not a practice we've done, and I really don't know how effective it would have been in a storm situation like that.
Huh, I'm kind of surprised, because that was one of the big advantages of the beat heat, is that you could pre-treat your roads. Although I totally understand we had so much snow, I can't imagine it would have been effective, but I'm surprised you haven't used it before.
Yeah, and I don't think pre-treating, so actually applying it ahead of a storm. We are planning, we did receive our updated sander that goes in the back of the truck that has the capacity to run an all liquid application, but that would still be as we're plowing. Behind the plow, it would come out of the back of the truck, and then that liquid would be applied directly to the roadway without any granular material. We did receive that equipment, but it has to be installed and calibrated and make sure all the parts talk to each other. So that system likely will not be in operation this winter because we didn't get it till so late in February.
Okay, well, looking forward to next year. Not really, but.
Right. Go ahead, Ken.
Do we have any kind of contingency arrangements with the county? Like if they ran out of salt, they could use some of ours, or if we ran out, we could use some of theirs, and we just pay for it?
We don't have any type of arrangement like that. Last year, when we did get in our predicament of coming close to running out of salt, we did reach out to some of the surrounding municipalities, and because of the severity of the winter, they were holding their salt pretty close as well. Thankfully, we were able to secure some salt for a reasonable price, buying it directly from another supplier. But I think that's always an option. However, we did see this winter where municipalities were prioritized over private companies, but there were salt shortages. And then we obviously, with that, you have price increases. So with this pre-order, that guarantees us that 1,200 tons. And then after that, we would have to just go out for bid and, get quotes and go with the lowest price.
Last year, we had a significant historic ice storm just north of us. And then when we were getting a blizzard, southern Grand Traverse County down by Cadillac and Wexford area, they were getting a significant ice storm. So we've been really fortunate to dodge the bullet on this. And I share everyone's concern with over-application of salt and the concerns with salinating the bay, but having enough to ensure safe travel is a huge priority for me. I know that our department heads are doing a fantastic job in using it judiciously so that we're not over-applying it, but I think that it is incredibly important to have it, and if we don't need it, we won't use it, but it's important to have it.
And that's one of the conversations we had last year with the salt reduction, was not the mentality of if we have it, we'll use it. Clearly, we have 1,400-ish tons on hand. And it really did take a lot of investment from the crew because they're the ones that are actually applying it. I can't say that we made any huge alterations in our process, but it was merely education and getting the buy-in from the crew. So that was really what helped us conserve and not use as much salt this year, and that's kind of why we have so much left over.
That's good. And credit to you, Chris, since you're up there and you did just win your award and your department just won their award. You were very kind in how you described last year. I know we ended up finally finding some downstate, but it wasn't even like, oh, we called Wexford and, Misaki and nobody had any. We called everywhere and finally found some hold away somewhere down Detroit area.
Right.
So it was a lot of effort by your team to make that happen too. So that was very appreciated. Go ahead, Lance.
I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd move that the city commission approve a commitment order of 1,200 tons of road salt, 600 tons early fill, and 600 tons late fill through the MIDEAL purchasing program for the 2026-2027 winter season, with funds available in the streets and highway maintenance funds, and final contract pricing to be established at a later date.
Support.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion on this? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Mitch.
I would just say that it does point to the conservative and judicious use of salt in our departments, that we are finishing this winter with most of the new salt that we purchased at the start of last. That is a very good position to be in, and I can hope that we have a good reserve stock each year going forward. That doesn't mean that we'll use it up at this point. It's very clear that having it doesn't mean that it will get used far too liberally. And in fact, perhaps lulled into complacency by a few unusually mild winters the past several years, we did see many other cities along the Lake Michigan coast do run out of salt midwinter. And you spoke to price increases. I was looking at quotes out of Goderich when you have to get freighter delivery, and they were literally paying 300% more. So the fact that we didn't have to pay more is a great sign, and I'm glad that we finished the winter in a good financial and salt position, and look forward to doing that again in next year and the years following.
Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, thank you, Chris. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, our next one is the 11th Street at Kids Creek. I'll let you kick that off.
Yes, this particular project, the Kids Creek Culvert Project, is supported by a $550,000 watershed center grant that's in my communication. I just wanted to highlight that. This contract is for $823,000, and of course, the commission last July authorized us applying for that grant, and we're now at the point where we need to do the work. So unless there are questions, this would have been on the consent calendar. It's pretty straightforward. You've heard a lot about it.
Go ahead, Heather.
I don't have any questions. I just want to point out two things. Kids Creek doesn't have an apostrophe. That's number one. And I want to thank the watershed for their work on removing Kids Creek from the endangered, it's endangered, right? Impaired waters list with hearts and minds and hands and dollars since 2013. Thank you very much, Watershed Center.
Great. Go ahead, Jackie.
Just to second that sentiment and point out that the Watershed Center certainly is our area subject matter expertise in all of these subjects, and I hope that we're going to find ways to partner with them in the future also on protecting our waterways.
Do we have a motion or any questions? Go ahead, Lance.
All right, I move that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute a contract with Elmer's Crane and Dozer, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $823,010.76, which includes a 10% contingency, $748,191.60 plus $74,819.16 for the 11th Street at Kids Creek Culvert Project. Such contract subject as to its substance by the city manager and its form by the city attorney, with funds available in the Capital Streets Fund, Fund 447, and further approve a budget amendment for the fund balance to cover the authorized expenditures.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Vollmer and Commissioner Shaw. Any further discussion or questions on this? Mitch?
Yeah, question for, I suppose, City Engineer Pagano. Perhaps it's in here and I just can't delineate it. How much is the clearance of the bottom of the culvert, I mean the top of the culvert beneath the roadway changing from its current configuration? Because right now, not only is there the sharp turn immediately upstream and narrower width, but as Kids Creek is prone to flooding, it doesn't have a lot of leeway for that flood water.
The existing culvert's 9 feet wide and 4.5 feet tall, and the new one's going to be 16 feet wide, 4.5 feet tall. So the
Okay.
same.
Height, but significantly more width to handle that flood.
Oh, I see. But it's 4.5 feet clearance. Yeah. So it's a 6.5 foot culvert, but it's buried 2 feet for a natural stream bottom.
Good, I like that. And just a follow-up question, I'm glad to see this getting redone. Is there proposals to repair other or replace other culverts in the Kids Creek watershed?
I'm not aware of any. I think this is the last one in the city. So there are more. They're not on the list right now for the Watershed Center or the city.
Yeah. Like Sevens and Elmwood does need to be done, but that is another project.
Other questions or comments? Any public comment on this item? Thank you, Ann.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Let me read the rules real quick. We ask that you state your name and address, indicate if you're a city resident, non-city resident, and/or city business owner. We have a 3-minute time allotment per speaker. When your time has elapsed, the timer will beep. And finally, request that all language be respectful to all parties.
I'm Justin Reed, 630 Cottage Drive, Apartment 1B, Traverse City, Michigan, Traverse City resident. My question has to do with the traffic detour going up on Division, making a left on from Division to 11th Street. And I might have missed this, but is there going to be any barrels that are going to be right in the center right there for that turn lane, to like, to prevent people from just, ignoring the detour sign, just going into that left lane right there and to turn where that median is?
That level of detail is something our city engineer or engineering team can help you with. If you want to speak with them.
All right, I didn't see it on a schematic, so I was just questioning, but thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Okay, we're now on to the pavement preservation. I'll have you kick it off.
Yes, thank you. So this is the 2026 pavement preservation project contract that's on your agenda. And we, of course, have a very talented streets team. Their new in-house mill and fill operations aren't meant to totally handle all of our mill and fill operations. They're meant to complement them. So this is the typical contract that we come to you with. Of course, this was presented, Mr. Commissioner Funk referenced this earlier. This was presented at your January 26th study session. The team is going to repaint the streets in their current configuration. Once we have the complete streets advisory committee formed, they can help advise on future bicycle facility improvements. And so that'll be part of the process, and Ms. Pagano referenced that in her memo. And we're here to answer any questions you have. Otherwise, there's a motion in your packet.
Go ahead, Jackie.
I wondered, am I correct that we only received one bid for this project? And I wondered what might have contributed to that.
Ms. Pagano is coming to the podium.
Yes, we only received one bid, which is unusual. Lately, we've been getting more than one. In fact, we've gotten 3 or more on several projects. So I'm not sure why we didn't get more. I know Elmer's has experience with this type of work. And I'm not sure what other contractors in the area can do it, but they did a great job for us last year, so looking forward to working with them again. And their number came in very reasonably priced from what we thought it would be. So,
Can you elaborate on that?
I can't remember what our estimate was. Do you remember? It was within 100,000 of our estimate, so not bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions or a motion? Go ahead, Heather.
I move that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute an agreement with Almers Crane and Dozer, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,319,475.75. Really? Which includes a 10% contingency of $1 million, or one.
Okay. 1 million.
Oh, I see, okay. The contingency is $119,952.
Yeah.
For the 2026 pavement preservation mill and overlay project, with such contract subject as to its substance by the city manager and its form by the city attorney, with funds available in the streets capital fund 447.
Support.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Shaw and Funk, and especially Commissioner Shaw. Those were some funny numbers to read, so thank you for that. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, spring's really starting to shape up now. And with that, the next 2 items are ones I'm particularly excited about, so I'll let you kick it off with the daycare camp at Hickory.
Yes, thank you. I'm also excited. I'm kind of playing favorites with agenda items. I guess this one is a favorite. And I want to thank Parks and Recreation Director Michelle Hunt for her work on getting this moving. And so what's before you is an agreement with the Grand Traverse Conservation District for them to operate a summer day camp at Hickory. That would be for 40 participants starting this summer. And all costs related to providing the service will be borne by the participants, those purchasing the slots. That includes the $15,000 cleaning contract that's next on your agenda, because there's additional cleaning services that would be required to provide this day camp service. I thank the Conservation District for their willingness to partner with us and provide this service at Hickory. We've been working with the state regulators to get the site licensed, and our intention is to evaluate if there is a different price that we can offer city residents. And so I wanted to mention that to you. And really with that, I'll say that the program is aimed to be an 8-week program, 8 hours a day, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. I had mentioned there are 40 campers. The ages for campers that would be eligible are 7 to 11 years old. And technically, I do have the authority to authorize this agreement, but there is a lot of interest in this at the commission level. Also rose high on your strategic action plan to come up with childcare options, and this helps in that regard. And so, again, thank you to Ms. Hunt and thank you to the Conservation District. Once this season's complete, we'll evaluate and look at tweaks for future years.
Great. Questions? Or go ahead, Heather.
Yeah, when you say all costs will be borne by participants, you mean actually that the Grand Traverse Conservation District is paying for
The
that,
registration
right?
fees.
No, I'm talking about the registration fees. So the participant registration fees will cover all day camp expenses, including the $12,000 administration fee that we're paying to the Conservation District.
I see.
So they're coming in to provide the service, but the cost of their employees, supplies, cleaning, which is the next item on your agenda, and everything related to it will be covered by the participants.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much.
Jackie and then Mitch.
I have a question about evaluation. We're talking about at the end of the season, you know, take a look back over our shoulder and see what we think worked well and what didn't and what lessons have been learned. I wonder if there is support for establishing at least some categories of success metrics going into this. You know, there's going to be the opportunity to collect data throughout the 8-week period. And we may miss some of those opportunities if we get through the whole experience and say, gee, I wish we had asked this in week 2.
Sure.
And would it be possible for the people who are organizing the program to come back to us maybe in May and, you know, say, here are the things that we think are really important metrics to collect, and then be sure that we're intentional about that?
Yes.
If I could, I would be interested in that as well, but I would actually be interested in that coming from staff. I know that some legwork has already been done and talking to other camps and such, only because if you're asking the people who are providing it to us, they're setting their own matrix then. So I'd like staff to come with what we're looking at, with the matrix that they're hoping to see throughout the summer. But I agree with the sentiment.
That would be very
Yes.
acceptable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Mitch and then Laura.
I'm really appreciative of how quickly we were able to pivot to bring this hopefully to fruition for this calendar year. But what opportunities will there be to, assuming everything goes well, expand this in future years? Because 40 campers is not zero, but it is a dent in the potential need and demand in our area.
I can tell you that that's one of the things we'll certainly look at to see if it can, if we can have more campers in the future, but I don't want to make any commitments at this point, but certainly we want to provide as much as we can.
Yeah. Laura?
So I recently heard a father describe the scramble for summer camp registrations as a chapter out of the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And honestly, that resonates. So I think this is the right program at the right time, the right place, and the right partner. It's the right time. It's a part of our strategic action plan. It aligns perfectly with our OKR for this year. And it's a great step for the city to address a significant issue in this community, and that's childcare. Hickory Hills is the right place. It's has a history of safe and affordable opportunities for kids. And we've been thinking about 4-season use of that park since the Hickory Hills master plan. And the Conservation District is the right partner. They're going to bring the expertise, the programming, and all of the stewardship to make sure that this is a high-quality experience for kids. So I'm super excited about it. I appreciate the work of Michelle Hunt in the Parks Department in pulling this together. It's been years in the making, and I'm really excited to see this launch.
I had a quick question. Sorry, Heather. I had a quick question since before the motion. I appreciate this came together really quickly. I'm actually very impressed. We're running 40 kids. I know from program experience that to expand or do more, A, the regulations make it difficult, and B, if you start changing ages and stuff, you have to come up with a whole different slate of programming because one size doesn't fit all with kids. But I did have a question of, and it kind of goes into our matrix and what we'll be looking at. I have no doubt that the Grand Traverse Conservation District will do a good job, and they might be the people that we want to work with for forever. But next year, will we look at maybe an RFP process? Because I know that this could be something that other groups might be excited about, and maybe come with different funding mechanisms and models behind them as well. Is that
Yes.
part of the? Okay, great.
Yes.
Heather, you put your hand up.
I did. I want to echo Pro Tem Ness's enthusiasm for Hickory. I went to Brownie Day Camp there. We used to have a VW Beetle, and we stuffed 13 kids into it, going back and forth to Brownie Day Camp.
Statute of limitations is up on that.
So with that, I will make the motion that the mayor and city clerk execute an agreement with Grand Traverse Conservation District for it to provide day camp services at Hickory Hills Recreation Area for the summer of 2026, with such agreement subject to approval as to its substance by the city manager and is formed by the city attorney, with terms as generally outlined in the Parks and Recreation Director's communications included with the official meeting materials for the March 16th, 2026 meeting of the city commission.
Support.
All right.
Can we make that March 23rd meeting materials?
Because we forgot to update it.
I accept that amendment.
Thank you. Perfect. All right, any other comments or questions? Fantastic. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back for a vote.
Wait,
Oh, so go ahead.
I do have a question. So we are going to get metrics from the conservation
Well, from the staff.
and from the staff?
No, from the staff, not
From the
us.
staff, we
But
will,
not- Well, they must have something that they
yeah,
can
we will
share
certainly
with us,
consult with them,
right?
but
Yeah.
they will filter through the employee team.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, don't we want to see the unfiltered version of whatever the conservation district turns in?
I don't know without having seen it.
Well, I would say because we're ultimately evaluating them through that lens too, that they can contribute to it, but I'd like staff to take the,
Well,
slightly.
yes, but we'd
yeah.
like to see what,
What they're planning.
What do they call it? First,
Raw data.
yeah, the raw data, and then how it's interpreted through staff.
That can probably-
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And continuing with that, we will now talk about the much referred cleaning contract.
Yes, so I really already spoke about this, so I won't say anything else unless you need me to.
We have a motion, or do we have any questions? Go ahead, Lance.
I'd move that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute an amendment to the agreement with Universal Cleaners in an amount not to exceed $15,000 for the weekday cleaning of Hickory Hills Lodge for the summer 2026 day camp program. Such contract subject as to its substance by the city manager and its form by the city attorney, with funds therefore available in the Hickory Hills Fund 504.
Thank you.
Oh, support.
Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Ken.
Question. So in that, item 5, it said that this program will result in no new cost to the city.
Mm-hmm.
We have to clean it more. That's increased cost.
But
So
That's going to be rolled into the camper.
into the
fee.
camper fee.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. No, it just didn't say that in there. I kind of
didn't,
assumed,
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
that
point.
was what was going to happen,
Right.
but
Any other questions?
how much is
Question?
$40,000 divided by, or how much is $15,000 divided by 40 kids?
Yeah, but it's more than that for the program too, so,
Well, I'm,
Yeah.
it's like,
Program fee
curious
is
how
going
much it's
to,
going to cost.
yeah.
I mean, as, not to mention is it Hunger Games style getting into one, but they're not inexpensive a lot of the time too. Other questions on this item? Or comments? Seeing none, any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we're on the Long Lake Extension, and I'll have Lauren kick this off.
So this is one of the items that we've been working with Garfield Township on to resolve some of these water issues. You'll remember we already addressed the capacity issue from the wastewater plant under the bulk water agreement. We worked together to resolve and implement the project at the Commons for the barns and the rest of the Commons to have improved water pressure. And so this item is to properly document some of the neighborhoods, 3 specifically in Long Lake Township that are along Cedar Run Road. And the memo outlines the conditions that staff has laid out and that Garfield has agreed with to make this work. I will say that one of the important things that's coming down the pike is the regional issue of drinking water, and that the treasurer has already put out an RFP. I think the RFPs have come in, or the bids have come in on that. So that'll be coming soon to the commission to look at a regional water reliability study with all of our regional partners that will really plan out for the future how we're going to deal as a region with drinking water as the region grows, and what's the best way to do that with our other municipal partners. So this is just one of the steps along the way to that, and that's really the bigger issue that's going to be coming at you soon. So unless there are any questions, representatives of Garfield are here as well if you have questions for them.
Jackie and then Heather.
A real simple question, process-oriented. Has the Garfield elected board already approved this agreement?
I don't believe so, but I'm looking over into the crowd. Oh, I see Chris Barsheff is going to address that question.
Good evening, Chris Barsheff, Township Manager. Typically, we'll work with city staff to create an agreement that will then go back to our board for approval. So we kind of do it a little bit different than you do.
Okay. Heather?
I do have one question. But first I'm going to say, this was really quite the mess a couple of years ago, and I'm really happy to see that we've gotten to this place. I think that the conditions that are part of this agreement are solid and should avoid misunderstandings in the future. I also am really happy to see it was a real mess a couple of years ago, but here we are, we're working together. We have this regional reliability study coming. I think that's wonderful. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here as well. I have one question. In one of the conditions, it's number 5, you're supposed to build a reservoir. You've got 18 months. Have you actually done any work on this? Because 18 months is like 0 in construction time.
So we have property already and an easement agreement with the property owner, and it's right next to our current storage tank on McCray Hill. And actively working with our engineer to work on plans to build it. So it's a pretty tight timeline, but I feel like we can accomplish it, and we're working on it right now to fulfill that.
Well, I hope that it is enough time so we're not back here again.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it should be enough time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And just to speak to that reservoir as well, the purpose of that is to shave down the peaks. So if there's more storage within the system, when in the summer more water is needed, it will help to have those resources stored out in the system, so we won't have to have those peaks at the plant.
Right. My issue is that it's a very short amount of time to get anything built around here. So I would hate to, if it was 20 months, be realistic about how much time you actually need.
So we prioritize that to get it done, to meet that timeline. The only thing is if things that are out of our control, like materials or contractor schedules, we're going to do everything in our power to get it done on time, within that time frame.
Contractor schedules are always out of your control. Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
And I guess maybe I would summarize I'd say I'd go a little beyond what Heather's saying is, come to us if there's a foreseeable delay, like you are having that, just so we all know, and it's not a 0-hour, like, we know it's due in 2 months, and we've got a hole, but we're waiting on these 3 things, just so we know, I think, because I think it's just the idea of we don't want to be 18 months from now and have everybody, and I know you all have the space and everything, which is a huge, easements and space is a huge first step, but that we don't have something coming to us very last minute of, oops, yeah. We've, not that we're saying we would do that, Chris, but that
Definitely.
we've seen that happen, so, so appreciate that.
Understood.
Go ahead, Lance.
I'd like to make a motion that the mayor and city clerk execute the necessary documents to implement the solution to the Long Lake extension issue as presented in the packet materials for the March 23, 2026 City Commission meeting. Such documents subject to approval as to the substance by the city manager and as to form by the city attorney.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Boomer and Mayor Pro Tem. Any other discussions or questions on this? Mitch?
Yes, I recognize that Traverse City has the largest water plant in our part of Northern Michigan. We do have very reliable water, but that doesn't mean that we need to serve everywhere. The Traverse City, Garfield urban area is already the most sprawling metro area of its size, of its population in the state of Michigan. And the water is important. I think it serves as a reminder that we need to concentrate development on where infrastructure can actually support that long term. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll have Chris step down and open up to any public comment if there is any. Okay, seeing none, thank you. I'll bring it back. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for your support. Appreciate it.
All right, and last but not least, the request for easements and access improvements. And Lauren, that's you again.
Sure. So this is another opportunity for some collaboration with our other municipal partners. This piece of property out by the new roundabout by Keystone and Beitner used to be the city nursery where they would grow trees to plant in the city. And it's been managed with partners at the county and the Conservation District or the National Education Reserve for years and years and years. And you probably know that they're building a new bridge out there. And so what they'd like to do is reconfigure the access to that property to make it safer in conjunction with the new roundabout and all of the infrastructure. And so the county has requested that the city allow an access via gravel roads and trails as the map shows in your packet, so that people can access the trailhead and the launch in a safer way than they are now, and that they can access the property off of the new roundabout that's out there instead of a little bit on the other side of the roundabout where it's kind of dicey to get in and out of there. And so that's really the purpose of this. I want to strike the word easement from the packet materials. It will be an access agreement that will allow those trails to be constructed, those gravel trails and roads to be constructed, but there won't be any property interest that changes hands with this project.
Do we have questions or motion? Go ahead, Heather.
I don't have a question. This is one of my absolutely favorite parks in the whole area. I love this park. And before COVID, hardly anybody went there. And a lot of people go there now. It's one of the parks that has the most access points. You know, you can get to it down the South Airport, you can get to it Beitner, Cass, all over the place. And people walk it, they take their bikes on it. But this is a regional opportunity also, I hope, for some good design about how to, I mean, I understand you're getting cars in off Beitner Road. Nobody's probably biking down Beitner Road, but there should be opportunities for bikes to come in that aren't biking down the trail from the old YMCA, because it's, or you design something so that they're not running into me. So with that, I will make the motion that the mayor and the city clerk execute the necessary documents to implement the solution to the Long Lake extension issue as presented in the packet materials for the March 23rd, 2020.
Oh, no, I think that's the last one.
Oh,
Wrong.
that's why I'm.
Yeah,
okay,
I did
sorry.
that earlier.
Next one. No. Oh, okay.
It's the mayor, I move that the mayor and the clerk be authorized to sign the necessary documents to allow the access and improvements with the condition that the improvements are made and maintained at no cost to the city, subject as to its substance by the city manager and its form by the city attorney.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Schomburger. Any other discussion or questions about this? Jackie and then Lance.
Just wanted to verify this property, which although we're not giving it up with an easement, we're allowing access, it is not designated city parkland, correct?
I don't know of any designation that the city's ever made. Like I said, it was the nursery. So that's all it has ever been used for that we know of, and then it's been managed in this manner for years. so.
Jackie?
I had a second question. I thought I read in the staff review that there were some concerns about pedestrian safety relative to crossing near the roundabout.
Yeah.
Can we hear more about that, please?
Yeah, we did have all of the staff and departments review this, and there were some questions about how that would be laid out and whether there would be beacons or what would be the infrastructure around that pedestrian crossing. And we met with staff at the county and the road commission and talked through those issues, and staff was satisfied with how they're planning to do that. And we will have a chance to work further as the project is implemented to make sure that that crossing will be to the staff's approval. But what they are talking about is looking into beacons and to striping along that path there.
Do you know how far separated the roundabout traffic lanes will be from the pedestrian crossing?
I don't know whether that has exactly been determined yet, but Mr. Chase is here if he has more information.
Good evening. My name is John Chase. I'm the Parks and Facilities Director for Grand Traverse County. Appreciate the questions. So that is a number, that number of feet is one that has not been fully decided yet. So we are working with Grand Traverse County Road Commission, there we go, all these acronyms, working with the Road Commission to determine what that optimal distance would be.
And I assume ADA guidelines, if they exist, will be complied with?
As best, yep.
Other questions for John right now? Lance, go ahead.
No, it's more just a statement, since we've already made the motion. I'm excited for this. I think anytime we can provide more access to our trails and safer access to our trails for more users, I think we're doing the citizens of Traverse City and of Grand Traverse County a good service.
Absolutely. Other comments or questions?
Just piggybacking on that, I mean, this is a case where municipal boundaries should never stop opportunities for improvement. So I'm really pleased that we're looking at this level of collaboration between the city and the county on this, and I look forward to seeing the project come to fruition.
As do we.
Great. Any others? All right, thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, and any public comment on this item? You're good, unless you want to make public comment. All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. And leave with that.
Hey, Frank, don't leave yet.
Thought you could sneak out. All right, with that, we have time right now for final public comment. Does anybody have any public comment about anything under the sun? And everybody out in the gallery, we're just finishing up, please, so keep it down a little. Actually, I thought we had public comment coming in, now we don't, so we probably are okay. Anybody has public comment? Okay, seeing none, bring it back. Anything from commissioners? Go ahead, Ken.
Last week on March 19th, we had our Brown Bridge Advisory Committee meeting, and that was our staff liaison, Frank Tuturi's last meeting as the staff liaison for the Brown Bridge Advisory Committee. And we didn't get him enough fanfare and attention during that moment. So, Frank, if you want to come up here and share anything that you would like to say with us, we'd be very appreciated.
It's forced public comment.
Forced public comment.
You don't have to beg Frank to talk, right, Frank?
You have 3 minutes.
Appreciate the recognition, and thanks for the thoughts. Yeah, it's been an honor to serve the City Department of Public Services, and I got to be involved in a lot of really great projects, and I still get to be involved in one that's near and dear to my heart here in the coming months and such. But I appreciate the recognition. Like I said, the job in this position with the city has allowed me to maybe lend a little bit of ecological conscience to some of the decisions that were made. I'm really proud of the beet heat. I'm proud of our composting. I'm proud of our MPC. I'm proud of all the things that may lead towards a little bit more sustainable culture for the city and its residents, and the way we look at the world around us, and especially our rivers, our river that flows right through the heart of our city. So thanks, I appreciate the recognition, and thanks for the opportunity to serve.
Thank
And
you,
you're
Frank.
still in your role until April 17th, so and then Frank's next role that he alluded to is he's going to continue to help us with Fish Pass on a part-time basis after he retires, so Thank you, Frank.
Well, let's
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you, Frank.
There'll be more fanfare, but I appreciate that, Ken. I appreciate that. Anything else? I'm just going to do a quick pitch on behalf of the League of Women Voters. I'm joining them to host trivia at Right Brain on Wednesday night, 7 to 9-ish. And it's going to be all democracy-based trivia, League of Women Voters. So you'll learn some, you'll play some, and there's some prizes. So hopefully we'll see some people there. And with that, I don't see anybody else raising their hand. So with that, we will adjourn. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.